going on, folks? What's going on? Hope y'all enjoyed yesterday. It seems that I've upset quite a few people yet again. People are mad. They're mad that I said things about them on the internet because that matters. That means something for whatever fucking reason. I still don't know why people take me seriously to the point that they actually think that I'm going to go back and check shit and go and like have a fucking Twitter war with them or fight in comment section and all that other gay shit. Not gonna do it. Sorry. If you want to contact me, you want to holler at me, to come in when I say, hey, here's an opportunity for you to come and holler at me one-on-one, and you don't do it, I don't care. So, anyway, man, oh man. Every so often, you got to give in. You got to give folks a little bit of what they want. But the strange thing is that hit dogs holler. Hit motherfucking dogs holler, folks. Every single time I start talking shit about somebody, every single time I start mentioning specific shit, the same people that I'm thinking about end up, oh my God, the comments in the live chat. Draxter, don't talk about Steve. You boyfriend. Like, why do y'all care? Why do y'all care what the fuck I think? Like, why? What the fuck am I? Fuck Dragnot. Why do people care? Let me tell you why people care, folks. Because you think about it. If a bum on the street, right? If a bum on the street insulted you and your significant other, would you give a shit he's a bum? Would you really give, if a child said you had a big ass head? You might feel some type of way because children are honest, but but it's like it's a child, right? They don't know any better. Who cares? Some random ass dude on the internet says something about you, and he's already acknowledged that he's just going to say shit just to hurt your feelings. If you don't hold him in some type of regard, why would you care? Because let me tell you, because some of y'all have let me know, oh, this person's saying something about you. I said, that's fine. Let them talk. That's cool. I enjoy it. Let them come on in. They're not going to do it, but still. The reason that I find this hilarious is that they actually pay attention to me, one. And two, they feel so insulted that they need to respond and give me the reaction that I want. And it's like, everybody by this time should know, like, you don't feed that. It's like, if you don't like hearing that kind of type of shit and you're sensitive, then don't watch, don't listen. There's a little X you hit up there, boom, it's gone. That bad Dragnot goes away. But for some strange reason, but it's not strange. It is, people have to respect you to some degree in order to feel the need to say, you know what, I need to respond to this. They give you a fraction of acknowledgement in some way, shape, or form. You won't dignify a child's insult because it's a child. You don't put a child on that level to deserve a response if you don't have some type of respect or acknowledgement of that child or that bum. And I think it's fascinating because it's really, really interesting. That's why it's like, when G-Man makes all those insults about me, I enjoy this shit. They're funny to me. I enjoy when people insult me. I love this shit. I love the fuck out of it. Because it lets me know what they think gets to me. Because everybody has something. Everyone has something that affects them. And for some weird reason, here on the interwebs, at least in this little corner, it's insecurity for a lot of folks. Just like, if I have to paint a broad brush, it's insecurity. Either insecurity about their education, insecurity about, because education and knowledge, they're not necessarily the same. So insecurity about their education, insecurity about their knowledge, about their physical appearance, about their masculinity, about just all type of little things here and there. There are things that actually impact me, and I've actually talked about it. It's imposter syndrome. If you know what imposter syndrome is, that's something that actually impacts me. But there's probably two or three people I can think of that exist in this realm here that would actually play a role in that would actually kind of make me feel some type of way, But By far and large, the folks that I guess try to think that they're saying something that's going to impact me, they're not even on my level or nowhere close, actually. I don't care how many hours a week they work. They're still nowhere near me, intellectually, physically, nothing. So it's really, really weird. Because I'll say shit like that, and then somebody pop in the chat, what do you mean, Drake? Speaking of which, have y'all ever listened to, I know y'all have seen him in the chat. Have y'all ever listened to an Aaron Benton video? They're all like this. And by like this, it's black, he doesn't actually show himself. Like, he's not a bad looking dude at all. But for some reason, he needs to be in the dark and whisper into the microphone for videos. Your guess is as good as mine, but just listen to this, folks. I'm about to drop some knowledge on you via Aaron Benton.
All right, I'm going to spread a quick message. A message that even the Jews will see and believe and understand that Jesus Christ is surely the Son of God and the Messiah. Now, there was a passage in the Psalms, and it talked about how God will not let his Holy One see decay. Now, it was a psalm that David wrote. Now, we know that David saw decay. Now, that passage says, you will not let your Holy One see decay. You will not. Now, David saw decay. So that clearly was not about David, but actually about one who was going to suffer but not see decay. Now, there was one that rose before he saw decay, and that was Jesus Christ. And it's also talked about if we believe on him, we are free from sin, which means that we are not under the law, because sin comes from the law. We are justified in Jesus Christ, and this is the promise that God brought to us. Now, for all the Jews listening, it's okay to believe on Jesus Christ. Replay this message over and over again. Try to write your comments, but this is the truth. I'm not against you, I'm for you. God bless.
Somewhere there's a Subway sandwich artisan missing in a local Subway. So, the fact that Aaron Benton thinks that he's going to influence somebody else's beliefs, I think is hilarious. The guy is, y'all, look, I don't even have to talk shit about him. Y'all have seen him have discussions. You've seen his rationale. Not all there, but anyway, I just wanted to play that just in case y'all never heard him whisper into his microphone and try to convince other people of shit. Not very effective. True empiricism tried it ages ago. He did it before it was cool. So, didn't work then, ain't gonna work now, buddy. But good try, though. Good try. I mean, you keep whispering into that microphone, you might grow some testosterone one day. You can share some with Nick Suter. All right, folks. I saw the name of this video, The Snake Bite of Atheism. This screamed out to me. This is D-Roy, probably, I don't know, yet again, giving you the lowdown, giving you the skinny of what atheism is and what being an atheist is, because I love it. I love when people... Did y'all break that fucking bot? Did y'all break the fucking bot? Okay, now y'all break the bot. Yeah, and I renamed it. I don't know who. I did rename the points penny candies. D-Roy. One thing I love about him is that he puts stuff in the description, so I can just have a fresh idea on kind of, or I'm just going in all natural. Don't know what he's gonna say. I'm pretty sure we're gonna hit all three high points: the homoeroticism, the fucking persecution complex, and the goddamn I always forget the other one. God, I always get 2 out of 3. I can't remember. I'll remember it later. Anyway, our 3 high points. Atheists are ripping faith apart. The venom of their bite turn. Why is he putting? Why is there a comma? There's comma splices in here, folks. It's bothering me. I'm getting triggered. I'm getting triggered. Atheists are ripping faith apart. The venom of their bite turns good people into zombies. People that, that's another comma splice. People that have that have faith without knowledge and are not ready to give an answer. Those comma splices are killing me, folks. I know somewhere Hogtie's just fucking scratching himself, going, ha ha ha. You don't know what a comma splice is? That right there, that's a comma splice. So, oh man, got some comments here. He ain't responding to shit. Of course he didn't. But he wants people to talk to him. He wants people to contact him. He don't want them troll comments. He is a victim. I said victim. Victim, the homoeroticism. Oh, and penny candy stores. I just said penny candies too. I just forgot. Penny candy stores. So there we go. There we go. So, as always, I'm going to play it on normal speed just for a little bit. And then we're going to, because we all need to be reminded how slow he thinks and how much he's going to teach us. Have you seen this YouTube vid? Can you do the music at it's a non sequitur show rap? Really? No, put that in the comment section or in the Discord or something to remind me later. No, I've not seen that. Speaking of music, I am going to be changing up that intro music that y'all hear. Yes, Uncle Fester today. Yes, Shadow. I am going to be changing up. Buddy of mine, back from years ago, back from the Black Atheist Facebook group. He's doing lo-fi music, so I'm going to change my shit to his, because why the fuck not? His shit's better anyway. So that's to come. Waiting for him to upload his newest lo-fi. So we're gonna do that a little bit later. Anyway, folks, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let me know if there's an echo.
Good evening. T-Roy Cruz here, your life applications officer.
Oh.
I'm a little bit frustrated tonight.
That's what happens when you don't get laid in like 6 years.
Usually, I love to mock and yell at atheists. But tonight I have a burden in my heart for atheists, and I'm not trying to play your tune or play my tune against your tune. I really have a burden on my heart for atheists tonight. I watched some videos on my lunch break today. More Matt Dillahunty, more atheist experience. That's got to be the most blasphemous show that ever had anything to say about God.
You know what? Just because you said that, D-Roy, I'm going to give you a fucking shout out. I promise the second I get on AXP, I'm giving you a fucking shout out. How about that, D-Roy? For me to, this is what I can do. Since you have provided content for my show, my stupid ass bi-weekly show, I'm going to give you a shout out. Since it's the most blasphemous TV show that you've ever seen, which I'm not sure if it's technically a TV show anymore, but fine. I'll give you a shout out, man. Just for you, D-Roy.
And the people on the show, I mean, Matt Dillahunty might be the mellow side of that show.
Oh shit, I forgot I was typing in both chats.
And slams the phone down because they want to point the finger at atheists, that the atheists are trying to point at Christians. But,
ooh, the impeachment hearing going live. Ooh, shit.
It's frustrating.
I'm going to catch the cliff notes of that later.
And then I watched Atheism is Unstoppable.
Oh, he's great. Awesome.
And I didn't mean to watch Atheism is Unstoppable. He did a video on Oprah, and this was back when Oprah, you can tell that Oprah has changed and become less a believer over the years herself. And but back then she felt that being an atheist, and she's not an atheist to this day, I believe she's into the New Age movement, but she felt back then that atheism was crazy and absurd, and She had a show on where these ladies, this is when they first established the Center Against Religion Foundation, or whatever you call it, and these faculty members of that foundation came to her show. And you know, it's different when the majority of the audience are religious or Christian.
This is painful.
Than it is when they are mostly secular people. It frustrated me though. It took a lot of wind out of me to hear these people talk about something that I know without a shadow of a doubt. It is my culture. It is the best thing that ever happened to me, and it's not an emotional attachment. It's not me hanging on because I'm afraid to let it go. It's not me hanging on because I'm afraid to go to hell. I love Jesus with all my heart. I am a very non-religious person.
Word?
If I really didn't believe, I swear to God, or whatever God don't exist, I swear to you, if I didn't believe that the truth is the very thing that is being rejected, if I didn't believe that Jesus Christ was the stone that the builders rejected, that he's the chief cornerstone, he's a stumbling block to the Jews first and then the Greek, if I didn't believe that, I swear to God I would not be a Christian. And I didn't come to believe that because...
Okay, so it took you 5 minutes, 5 painstaking minutes to state that you have a belief that is the cornerstone of your entire belief system concerning the Christian religion. Like, is that a fair summation of what he's trying to express? Because, man, that was painful to listen to. But I think that's fairly fucking accurate as far as what he wants to convey here. I would hate to read anything that he's actually, no, I have read something that he's written right before I fucking started this. Jesus, it's just like you spend all this time trying to get out one sentence and meanwhile I can see sloths fucking over across the continent because your ass speaks so fucking slow. My God, dude. I don't have enough years left in my life to listen to an entire rant of yours because I feel I'm being cheated out of just minutes upon hours of my life trying to decipher your sloth speak. Just like who beats you into this time warp where you think and speak this fucking slow? Like, that is just, I have to speed you up like 1.5 times, whatever the fuck this is, in order to get you to speak at a regular ass human pace. My God. Why do I suffer through it? Jesus. All right, we speeding his ass up, folks. We speeding his ass up. Shit, be here all goddamn day.
Because somebody told me I'm going to go to hell if I don't believe in God or if I don't believe in Jesus.
I'm gay for your nipples, which makes me
get a
poop.
hold
Fuck
of that.
yeah.
Somebody told me I'm a sinner, I'm on my way to hell. It's not how it happened. The word hell never came out of my mother's mouth when she was teaching me as a child.
Now, it's weird. If I started playing him at this speed, y'all would think that he just speaks normally, right? Like this is just one in quarter times faster. But this is the regular pace of a regular ass human. Just so y'all know, just like the difference is just amazing. But you know, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to give him criticism on the fact that he speaks, you know, at the same pace as I shit. Like I don't know how else to describe this. Like I shit faster than he speaks. I don't know.
I didn't know what hell was until I started studying. They didn't evangelize me into a hell doctrine. What really frustrated me today.
Yeah, it reminds me of that sloth from Zootopia. At the DMV.
I was watching the Atheist Experience, and they said some things that ticked me off because they were just blaspheming. Just blaspheming.
I think I asked this question before because I catch the Atheist Experience every so often, but there was a period of time that I just kind of stopped. I kind of stopped watching like all like atheist shows. But has he called? Has he actually called into the show? Does anybody have a link to where he's actually called in? Because I'm curious to hear that. Because again, some of y'all might know more than me.
Instead of listening to what people got to say, it's like they're afraid to let you talk because you might pull something out of the hat that they can't argue with. So everything you say, they respond to it with a question. And this is the trick that they do. Everything you say,
this is what the atheists do. Okay, so this is recently been stated, or something to this effect, with Dylan Hunty and G-Tard. Right, so I think the other guy's name is Dan. So Dan and Matt, in tandem, asked the same clarifying question. I think first they asked them to define God and then to define divine, which is asking a clarifying fucking question. So it's not just, well, let me just obfuscate for the sake of obfuscating because we don't want to answer. No, it's asking you to clarify a position, right, that you have just stated. Clarify specifically a term that you use so that everyone is on the same goddamn page. But this guy doesn't seem to get that. He doesn't seem to understand that there's a goddamn difference between asking questions to get off topic and to move away and asking a question that pertains to what the topic fucking is. But let's let him finish. Let's let him finish.
Respond to it with a question. If I say something like, I'm telling you how dumb they are. If I say something like, well, because in the Bible it talks about hot water, they'll say something dumb like, are you suggesting that the hot water was the wrath of God? Dude, nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so did y'all look? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You give somebody a reference that's fucking vague in a book, in an anthology known for using figurative language, specifically metaphor. And so when someone asks you a clarifying question concerning that reference, that vague reference that you offered, you're upset by that? So because it's somebody else's problem that you're vague. It's just like, come on, D-Roy, you can't be this fucking dumb. If I tell you, oh, D-Roy, I read this book, right? It's about a man on a boat. Well, Dragnaut, are you talking about Moby Dick? Ain't nobody said nothing about no whales and no dicks. No, that's asking me about the vague statement that I made. I could be talking about Mark Twain. If it's fucking vague, then people are going to ask questions to clarify what you stated. D-Roy, come on. Come on, D-Roy. You can't be this goddamn dumb. You can't be. It's not a trick. Maybe for the hicks that you've been dealing with, they just presume shit. Maybe that you're just used to not having any conversation with anybody else that go into depth or go into great detail or expound upon points or to clarify. Like it's just like it's almost mind-boggling how remedial some of this shit is that you're complaining about. Because somebody asked a clarifying question, that's a huge problem. Man, now if they were uncharitable, you'd be complaining about that too. So you can't win. Can't win either way.
Or what's wrong with cold water? If you say, well, there's a part in the Bible where it talks about the color beige. How do you know it was beige? How do you know it wasn't light brown? You know what I'm saying? They just, and then they make jokes while they're doing this, and they're looking across and smiling because they know the audience was going to laugh.
This upsets him deeply. Look at his face. He's bad. He's a little upset. You sad, boo-boo?
And nobody needs to talk to atheists for any other reason except the love of Jesus. The average Christian doesn't want nothing from you.
Then why they call a fucking show?
He wants to save you because he feels that he's called to explain to you the love of Jesus. Now, I admit, and I've always, from the time I was a child, doing outreach on the street as a kid, running around with the older men, I understand.
You might want to rephrase that last part. But that might also answer a few questions I have. But all right.
You got to be careful how you use the word hell. Hell should be an inside study. It shouldn't be for the street. You don't go out and tell. I had a friend not too long ago, good friend of mine. And me and him would go out and he would say, do you know if you would die? Or do you know where you would spend eternity? And, you know, he would ask a gangbanger that. And the gangbanger would say, I don't care. And he would say, well, if you don't choose today who you will serve, you're going to go to hell. You know, I mean, Joe, come on, man. You about to get a shot by somebody that ain't going to never give his life to Jesus. Chill out with that hell stuff, man. That's for inside people. It's us that need to worry about going to hell.
It's us, the believers.
Because
hell is our burden.
Nobody has ever, and this is where atheists get dumb too, nobody has ever accepted Christ based on the idea that they thought if they don't, they're going to go to hell. Now, some of these people that were on the Oprah Winfrey show, they talk like that was their whole basis of their religion. And some of the people that I hear calling into the atheist experience, when they say something, and the people from the atheist experience automatically start talking about hell. The hell did not come out of the guy's mouth.
Maybe they're
putting words in our mouths.
Oh.
They're on top of it all.
Oh, no. Not from what I've heard. So, D-Roy, you have this really bad habit of misrepresenting people. I don't know if you really realize it. Maybe you're just dumb. But hearing you retell a scenario about something that you watched on YouTube, I've seen just only a handful of times that you openly misrepresent what's happened. The times that I've watched the atheist experience is that people make references to an eternal damnation, which would be hell. I'm not sure if you're talking about any other eternal damnation, but when you make a reference to it and people go, oh yeah, we can talk about hell. Okay, that's fine. We just let's shorten that. More than likely what was happening, especially as it's a part of the biblical narrative, hell would be one of the centerpieces on a number of conversations, especially since it plays a big role in Pascal's wager, which you just referenced yourself with the friend that you talked about named Joe. I mean, again, maybe you don't understand how references work or anthologies work. I don't know. But anyway, please continue, D-Roy, because I'm already losing brain cells.
You know, I made a objection about the atheist experience. And what I was saying is that we don't owe, like I said in the last video, we don't owe you an explanation.
Okay, then don't talk about it.
For what belongs to us.
Don't talk about it then.
And this woman that, I guess it was a female, that I made a comment to because she said something that had nothing to do with the video. And I should have known right there. She's already saying something. She's already taken something the caller, she's already taken something that he said out of context. Why should I even respond to this woman? So I responded to her, and I'm frustrated. What part of separation don't you understand?
Oh.
What part of everybody is entitled to their own opinion don't you understand?
Here we go.
And the game is, an atheist will tell me that he never says you're entitled to your own opinion. Like a Christian will tell an atheist, well, you're entitled to your own opinion.
That's
atheist
a
will
cop-out.
never say that to a Christian.
That is a cop-out statement.
Because he knows that me being entitled to my own opinion might make me better. And
Really?
he knows that there's no...
So because no one has overtly told him that, right, he presumes that they disagree? Like, I'm confused by his rationale here. Like, most people, I don't know anybody who says that, no, you're not entitled to your own opinion. I don't know any... That's a non-controversial point that you're bringing up. But when people use that, it's a cop-out statement because they don't want to justify what they're saying. They'll oftentimes, this is my experience, folks. This is just my experience. People who offer an assertion, they make a claim, make a positive claim, right? They want to convince you of something. They want to prescribe a course of action, and then you ask them for their rationale. You ask them to actually defend that position. You know what? You got a burden of proof here, like we all do. Well, I'm entitled to my opinion. That's usually what follows when they know that they can't actually defend or substantiate what the fuck they're saying. And so that's D-Roy's issue here. Because you heard him earlier, right? We don't owe you an explanation. Yeah, you kind of do, buddy. If you crack your fucking mouth hole about what you believe, trying to talk to somebody else, trying to get them to believe, yes, the fuck you do. If I tell you, D-Roy, you know what? You should take out, a loan on this automobile at, 13% interest, right? I owe you an explanation for that. If I'm trying to prescribe that course of action for you, right? It doesn't matter. Yes, if it's for your religion, that too, D-Roy. Yes, that too.
Science, there's no evolution. Okay? There is no anything that I've said that pissed you off. None of it's going to come back and slap me in the face for having my own opinion.
I'll just have my opinion.
If you can live and die on atheism and never have to give an account, what account do I have to give?
Substantiate your claims? I don't know.
What account do I have to give? What is this a reverse thing? Am I going to get punished because I believe that I might go to heaven when I die, or I believe that I might go to the New Jerusalem when I die? What, am I going to get punished for it? Am I going to get punished because I believe that everybody needs to be saved? Everybody needs Jesus? If I believe that God created the earth in 6 days, am I going to be where does this cup of cappuccino, okay, become something else? Because I believe that God created the earth in 6 days. And people go to hating and mocking over this stuff. And out of the same mouth that will mock a Christian because a Christian boldly says, well, I believe God created the earth in 6 days, I don't believe in evolution. You'll get these same people saying, well, we don't claim to know. We don't claim to know everything. We don't claim to know the truth.
We don't claim to know everything, and we don't claim to know the truth. They're two different statements, D-Roy. Come on now.
I claim to know, or I claim to believe, just like you believe. And see, that's another thing that is a trick.
It's a trick, folks.
Because evolution.
I don't know. So here we go. He was talking about science again. Here we go. I can't take it. But take a deep breath, because here's D-Roy Cruz, Life Application Officer, rationale at work. This is D-Roy logic, folks. This is D-Roy logic. He's going to explain to you the trickery of science.
Evolution is believed upon. There's
Believe
no facts or no demonstration to demonstrate except what you read in a book. Except what you read in a book. Just like I'm reading from a book. Okay? There is nothing there to
no
prove.
genetics. None. No genetics at
that
all.
This is definitely, and I listened to Matt Dillahunty talking about science. And this is another thing. Like, I studied science in grade school and high school. From the time I started middle school to the time I graduated from high school, I had science classes. And now you're telling me that because I believe in God, I have to go and study a higher science?
What? So you mean to fucking tell me that in order to learn more about a topic, that you might have to read more about it beyond what you were forced to read in middle school and high school? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that y'all had to do that? If you wanted to learn more than what your 12 years of free education provided you, you had to read. Holy shit. I can't believe it. Why? If I wanted to learn about Charlemagne beyond that, I might have to read a book about it. If I wanted to learn more about, I need to read this book over the Christmas break. Gödel, Escher, and Bach. Learn about some math. Learn about some science. Learn about some music. How they all intertwine with one another. I might have to read a goddamn book. It's crazy. You might actually have to fucking read, D-Roy. I don't know what to tell you. Yes, you're absolutely fucking right. Yes, you do have to read books, D-Roy. Goddamn. You a dumb motherfucker. Goddamn. I swear to God. You mean to tell me I gotta read a book? Yes, you right. Yes, D-Roy. Yes, you do. Or go watch some fucking YouTube videos. Like some of these e-lawyers out here. Like these folks trip me out. It's just, yes, you do. Like there's, like he's just flabbergasted. What do you mean I gotta read? Huh? Each one teach one, motherfucker, something. Like are you read a book, read a motherfucking book. But come on. I'm sorry. Hey, Drag, do you know someone who has the same level of education Uncle D-Roy? I might know a motherfucker. I might know one that talks about other people's education. I might know a motherfucker or two. Like, it is a trip to me. It is an absolute trip. But check this shit out, folks. This is the guy who's going to help you fix your life. He's a life application officer. And he's just baffled that you have to read beyond a high school level. A shock. Oh yeah, no, Annabelle, I heard about that. Me and my wife were laughing about that. I live with my mother. Says a dude who doesn't take showers and shit. But it's funny to me, some of these fucking people. Like I don't have a book bag near. Yes, in order for me to become a better researcher, D-Roy, I'm getting handed more and more peer-reviewed studies. Mentioning like there's a reverse reaction from malate to oxaloacetate that I have to understand. So guess what I was handed? I was handed literature by my PI in order for me to learn about that. Yes. We don't cover that in biochemistry too. We talk about it. But in order for me to learn more, I gotta go fucking read more. This is a crazy idea. Crazy fucking idea. It's just, really? Oh, I'm talking to Monty. I'm talking to Monty so we can get y'all some shirts and shit, man. And some merchandise, some mugs. We're gonna get some mugs. We're gonna do the merch store. I keep talking about it, I keep forgetting about it. We're gonna get y'all some merch. I think Creepshow has she has OK Boomer stickers if y'all want some of those. I was looking at her shit earlier. Dragnot, D-Roy can skip all the dumbass reading and go to new school. He could do that. He could. D-Roy, what made you start going in on this guy? Doc Savage. I don't know what it is. Doc Savage is like a bloodhound for idiots on the internet. Doc Savage sent me this guy's videos ages ago. He also sent me Thomas Lundy, which his channel got the axe for violations, multiple violations. So I'm not surprised. But because Omni and Doc Savage were reviewing him on their show. And so he said, hey, you should do some reviews of this guy. So I looked at him. I looked at his channel, went through some of his stuff, and I'm like, this motherfucker here. So I took some time to kind of get the gist of how his mind works. And so I waited a little bit. And we started talking about him some months later. I was like, yeah, you know what, let me take a break from G-Man and go in on this dude. So, yeah, he has a lot of content, folks. A lot of interesting content. And he's one of those guys, he just wants a platform. Like, he feels, he gets indignant when he hears people, express their opinion and he doesn't agree with his. But fuck, man. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, no, do not. It's a habit. I have to crack my knuckles because it feels good. Oh, just in case I need to strangle a motherfucker, No, it is actually a habit. I don't know why I keep doing it, but it's baffling. I shouldn't be surprised given my history with the idiot, but it is like this. I'm still stuck on this, folks. I am literally still stuck on the fact that he is baffled that he has to read a goddamn book. My mind's full of fuck right now. How are you helping people become better folks? How? If you yourself are miffed at the possibility that you have to read beyond high school level. Like, how? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. How? I'm not saying that you have to be some well-read dude. Like, I've not done a lot of recreational reading my damn self. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I still got that book sitting here, man. But man, you could ask Xavier. I was on the plane reading the literature I need to read, my biochem stuff. Like, I was going in the shop looking for a highlighter so I could take some notes. But man, yes. If I'm going to be offering advice to people, which I do on the side, y'all might catch me in a few videos on other people's channels, sometimes on mine, and more so in private, giving people life advice. Yes, I do that too, believe it or not. But that's because I've lived it. Like, people for some reason feel, you know what, they want my take on it. I give you an honest take. But in order for me to fulfill that role, I need to experience more. I need to push myself into areas where I can experience things and know things and maybe possibly read. Just maybe. Man, just...
That I have to go and find... I have to quit my job or...
No!
Let go of hours on my job so that I can go and learn a higher form of science, because I guess all these so-called atheists or all these militant atheists, they all have a higher understanding of science than what we had back when I was coming up.
Probably, but you don't have to.
So
quit your
now
job.
I can't claim that there's a God, and I can't talk about God until I go back to school.
Someone probably insulted him, told him to go back to school. He took it seriously.
I have 100 insults.
See?
For that statement, if that's what you're thinking. And they're not godly. I have 100 mockings and scorn and slurs for that idea, and they ain't godly.
Oh.
Discretion advised. That's been censored already.
Uh-oh. Don't tell him to go back to school.
100 arguments, 100 books, 100 writers. There's only 66 in here. 100, 200, 400, 500 writers. Okay? And all these people to refute this. What's that tell you? Everybody hating on this one book. And on this Oprah Winfrey show, these people that were Christians tried to tell these ladies from the Center of Freedom of Religion Foundation, they tried to tell them they're wrong about the Bible. And this lady was saying stuff about the Bible is sexist. And oh my God, when she went to claiming that the Bible is a sexist Bible, I was done.
You were done. You were done.
So, because you're a feminist.
You don't have to be a feminist to recognize that there's quite a few places in the Bible where women aren't like up there with men. Women are to be the helpmate of the man. Okay, well, you know what? Let's enforce those traditional gender roles. Okay, cool. If the woman wants to fulfill that role, then that's her choice to do so. But then you get to weird shit, like really weird stuff, like I don't know, being able to rape a chick and then the man who rapes her is forced to marry her. Oh man, he's forced to marry her. That doesn't scream, hey, justice for the victim at any point in time. You don't have to be a feminist to see that there's something messed up with that. Just if so, D-Roy, I know this might be a fantasy of yours, but if a big old burly man grabs you up and penetrates you, and so now that he's desecrated you against your will, quote unquote, he has to take care of you. You think that is cool, D-Roy? Do you think that that's an acceptable way of going about having a society where people can just do that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So yeah, there's women should have an issue with shit like that because they could become someone's property after being victimized. Again, maybe there's this outrageous notion that shouldn't happen to people, but maybe I'm just a radical in that. I don't know. But jeez, yeah. But I'm curious. I am curious because this episode of Oprah, I think this is an old episode. Not watched Oprah in many years, but I think I remember this being referenced ages ago. I want to say they gave specific examples. So I'm curious if this guy here is going to point out something that these ladies said in reference to the Bible being sexist.
Knucklehead from the Vatican had disrespect for you as a lady. I'm not allowed to be a Christian because of what he did. And when I listen to the Atheist Experience, and when I listen to shows like Oprah and the people that get on there, these so-called apologists, and these so-called, pastors and leaders of the faith, I don't know if to be more frustrated with them or with the mocking, nasty mouth atheists. I really don't know, because I believe that it's very clear we need to get one thing straight, atheists. And I know what these atheists will do. They'll take what I'm saying.
Uh-oh.
And they'll sweep it under the rug and not put what I'm saying to what any other Christian has said and think upon those things. But no.
So why do I need to bring in other Christians in order to understand what you're saying, D-Roy? That's an interesting way to look at that. That's so for me, I don't want people to take what I say and then find some other random fucking atheist to I guess to validate what I know. Unless I'm requesting that, yeah, you can go and talk to this guy in order to validate. Unless I'm requesting it, then that's different. But I don't. It's just a weird thing because I guess in this statement, I'm trying. Let me let him finish because this is a weird sort of request. But let's see.
You'll say, if I say something really good, and you know I got a point, you'll sweep it under the rug. Instead of matching what I'm saying with what another good Christian that might have gotten your attention said.
It's really vague.
There is absolutely no reason.
So something good. I don't know what something good is in his mind, but so if okay, let me be very charitable here with him. If he says that Christians should treat people equally, and another Christian says, you know what, we should treat people, non-believers, believers alike, equally, and that's something that's good. Let's acknowledge that. Yeah, I think that's something awesome. Everybody can, kumbaya and have a good clap. Yes, absolutely. You're right, Leroy. People should. People absolutely should. But you are a lot like S.J. Thomas. Or S.J. Thomason, I think her name, S.J. Thomason. The chick who likes to hang out with modern day debates and hang out with G-Man and them. I think she was a PhD in human resource and bullshit like that. She complains about people insulting and mocking and insults, but I've seen her, and just like D-Roy, when people offer cogent responses to something that you stated, you ignore them. Or people go, hey, I heard you make this statement. Could you substantiate that? That gets ignored too. But then when people offer you nonsense, like, you're fucking stupid, you respond to that. Because I've seen her do that in real time. And I called her ass out on it. But D-Roy, I've also seen you in comments do that too. And then make videos referencing that and complaining about it. So, again, that's a lot like G-Man. You avoid people who genuinely want to have a discussion with you, but complain and complain and complain and complain. I find that interesting. I find that very, very interesting. But I'm not surprised. That's what you feed off of. Don't get me wrong. Look, I love the negativity too. It tickles me to no end. But if somebody wants to sit down and go, Dragnot, I heard you say this, that, and the other. I disagree. Let's talk. We can talk. Most people don't have the wherewithal to do that. But you know what? It's available. It's always available. It's always been available as long as I've been on here. But you don't. You enjoy that, just like SJ, you enjoy that negativity. There's a part of you that feeds off of that. Because why would you respond to it if that's not something that you get some type of pleasure out of? It doesn't make sense, D-Roy. SJ, it doesn't make sense at all.
For a Christian to evangelize you except for the love of Jesus. Evangelism is not about going out there and showing everybody that you're better than them. That's what this lady was saying on the Oprah Winfrey show. The religion, evangelism is just a way for people to show people that they're better than them. What? Oh my God. Guess what? If that is your argument, if that is your defense, you win. I won't evangelize you, atheist. I don't have a damn thing to say to you. Not a damn thing. If it's all about me trying to control you, and like this girl, she couldn't wait. She didn't even listen to or read what I had to say. She just jumped on this idea. Oh, well, you need to quit pushing your... Hold up. Where am I pushing anything? Oh, because I opened my mouth to defend myself. Because Matt and his atheist experience buddies were saying things that are contrary to the truth. So for me to defend myself.
So Matt and whoever else he had on were addressing somebody's argument, and you made a comment in the video below it. You were defending yourself from a statement somebody else made towards someone else? Do I understand that correctly? Does anybody else, that like the way that is phrased is really strange? If somebody is talking to somebody else about a topic, they don't mention my name, but they might mention stuff combat medics did. am I defending myself personally, me here, all this, if I jump into that conversation and start, like, okay, all right, D-Roy. But then again, he does have a weird definition of conversation. Two other people on YouTube talking to one another is him having a conversation. That was interesting.
I'm pushing my belief on you. Well, guess what?
I would love to find his comments. I guarantee he was evangelizing.
With this ideology, with this twisted form of thinking, with this deception, that I'm getting to the point where when someone mentions atheism to me again, I'll probably just say, let God work it out. Not my problem.
It's probably the best thing for you to do. But would you defend?
Because anytime
fuck tankers.
I'm trying to defend myself because you're saying stuff about what I believe that's not true, and automatically you jump into propaganda because you read that somewhere. This is what you were waiting to tell me. You don't listen to what people are asking or telling you. You just start saying that.
Oh, irony. Oh, irony.
What she said had nothing to do with what then she starts asking me dumb questions. Well, wait a minute. I didn't ask you a question. I made a statement about the atheist experience that she knew was fair. It was true. What they were doing was nasty and ignorant and wrong, and she knew that.
How do you know that she knew that?
So her way of refusing the guilt.
Okay, so D-Roy makes a statement criticizing the atheist experience with this particular episode of it. Somebody responds to his comment because, evidently when D-Roy says something, when D-Roy is going to castigate you, everyone else who's watching that, everyone else who's involved or is an audience to that, you need to just acquiesce to whatever it is that he says. That's what. So everybody take your pens or your pencils, begin to take notes. Whenever D-Roy is going to criticize or castigate somebody or something, everyone needs to simply acquiesce to whatever the fuck it is. Don't challenge him. Don't ask him to substantiate it. Don't ask him to clarify. Just agree. Just roll over. Because D-Roy Cruz, your life application officer here, does not need to be challenged at any point in time. Sad.
And she didn't agree with the atheist experience. That's why I responded to her comment. But obviously she was an atheist. So because she can tell that I'm not an atheist, she decided, well, we have to fight with each other.
She challenged him. Don't challenge him.
She's going to decide to flip it and say, well, let me ask you a question. She asked me a question. And here we go with these long comments.
Don't make him read.
I'm not going to read all that.
Don't make him read.
Good God Almighty. That's why I started my own channel.
He's not going to read.
Lady, I'm not reading all that.
I'm not reading. He's not going to read. How does he read the Bible?
I care.
The Bible's a pretty long book.
And it may make me, in your eyes, if you're an atheist, it may make you think that I'm something that I'm not. It may make you think that I think I'm something that I'm not. I care to evangelize. And this woman on this Oprah Winfrey show believed that anybody that would try to tell her about Jesus and his sacrifice for their sins is being a bigot. And is trying to push, like this girl that commented when I made a comment on the
Pretty sure that girl's a woman, but that's okay. If y'all are burning through your points, there's two ways to get points. You comment in the chat, and they're boosted for people who are subscribed, and there's boosted for people who do like super chats and shit like that. I think there's one other way too. Yeah, subscribing, watching the live show, commenting in the live chat, and super chats. I think have a bonus. Yeah, so the points are multiplied by however much you super chat or some bullshit like that. So that's why like Angry Roach has a shit ton of points, and that he doesn't actually gamble. So there you go, folks. They're penny can. They're fake. The points aren't real. You don't get anything. You don't get shit.
atheist experience. We're always pushing. I could kiss you in the mouth.
No.
And if I'm a Christian and
No.
you know it, I just push my religion on you. I
No.
could hand you $100 bill. Oh, you're a Christian. You must be pushing your religion on me. I could give you a loaf of bread.
Why did he go to kiss you on the mouth? Like, why was that the first? Okay, no.
Why you give me a loaf of bread? You're pushing your religion on me. Fine. I won't give a rat's behind about you then.
Dick pics also get you points.
This is so nasty and so off that you're mistaking the love of Jesus. You're turning the love of Jesus into a war because of what the Vatican failed to do right, or because they are consistent at being wrong. Anybody else that calls himself a Christian or a part of Christianity can say anything without you turning it into a war. I would like to tell you about the love of Jesus. You're a bigot. You're pushing
Don't
your religion.
challenge him, folks. Don't challenge him.
Okay.
Just agree.
And getting back to what I said at the last video, I think that what we need to do is we need to, speaking to Christians, I think we need to shut up. Because people don't come to know the Lord on the street anyway. They come to churches when they want to know the Lord. We might plant seeds on the street. But eventually, when people are ready to receive God, they come to us. We don't have to go to them.
Okay, good. Awesome. I like that.
I think we live in a day and a time when we have to be careful how we evangelize. We can't just get out there and yell. Okay? You know, like we used to. Because now, anything you say, I mean, these atheists, they can share in what I'm about to say. These atheists have taken over. And in certain states, like here in Pittsburgh, there's still more Christians than there are atheists. But I'm sure way down in California, there are more atheists than there are Christians. But I'm telling you, I can look at the way people live their lives today and tell that they're taking on atheist doctrine.
Atheist doctrine.
Okay, if I say, hey, even if they're not an atheist, they're going to preach atheist doctrine to me. They're going to tell me, well,
like what?
Our rights and our amendments and our blah, 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 blah.
You mean our American
But
rights
it's
and
okay
amendments?
for you to push abortion. It's okay for you to push LGBTQ.
Here we go.
It's okay for you to push marijuana. It's okay.
It's legal.
For you to push feminism. It's not okay for somebody to talk about escaping all the nonsense and following Christ.
Our rights and amendments.
But I have not forgot. And they get on the atheist experience and they say something like, you're free to call in and defend your position.
Yes.
But then they want to get on there and everybody that calls in, they want to tell you this sad story about wars that kill people. They want to tell you that, that religion kills and your Bible, is all God is a murderer. He's immoral. He's all this stuff. But yet you invited us to call in. You're not looking for atheists to call in. You're looking for Christians to call in.
Yeah.
If I call in, I'm going to say, Matt, shut up. I'm talking.
Oh.
I only got one thing to say to you.
Uh-oh. What is it?
I'm proud to be a part of the separation. That will be all. Click.
Matt Diliconti, you listen here. You listen good, Matt. I am proud of being a part of the separation. Click. I told him, bald head, you take that in your pipe and smoke it. Diliconti, Matt, I showed you. I hung up on you. What the fuck is this? I wish I would have watched this before I met Matt. I really wish. I would love to show this shit to him because this is fucking hilarious. Does he like what is it? What does he think this is? Like, come on, D-Roy, you're good. You're good, D-Roy. I just he's so intense with it too. I would just say one thing. Like, who the fuck are you, D-Roy? Get the fuck out of here, man.
It's really, really bad. This is really, 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 really bad.
Really,
and while all
really,
this
really.
is going on, oh, you're invited to call in and defend your position. Like, why? First of all, why do I need to defend my position? Are you saying that I don't have a right to believe what I believe?
What?
Are you saying that my rights are gone?
You can come in and defend your position. Okay, so if you have a position on a topic, then you can call someone who disagrees and defend whatever it is that you have, whatever your position is, and people will listen to it. Like, I don't think it takes a brain surgeon to figure this out. It's really not that. You're overcomplicating something that's really fucking easy. Why are you giving me money? Stop it. What is this shit? This is real funny shit. Like, I don't understand. Why are you overcomplicating this stuff, D-Roy? Why? If you, like, I guarantee you, folks, if it was a political call-in show, which there's plenty of them, right? And someone says, you know what, I want a Democrat to call in and defend their position on abortion, or I should say liberal. A liberal to defend their position on abortion. Well, yeah, okay, so someone who is anti-abortion wants people who are pro-abortion to call in and they can defend their position. You can put any scenario up there. It's not that hard, D-Roy. It's not that hard. No one's saying that you can't have, it's implied. It's tacitly implied that you can have your own position if you're calling in as an opposition to whoever's on the call. It's not that complicated. It's really not that complicated. You know what, Steve Bowden, you do get, I will give you 100 points after this goes off air, just for suggesting penny candies. I'm going to make a note right now to give you 100 points. Steve Bowden. There we go. Writing it down because I'm going to forget. All right. So, my God, D-Roy, you make simple shit just so difficult. Oops.
You're assuming that I need to evangelize you against your will.
What? Why would, again, if he's telling you to call in, if he's telling you to, no, come talk to me, how is that against his will? He's asking you to voluntarily come and have a conversation with him. That doesn't make sense, D-Roy.
And you're saying that what this whole thing is it is wrong and immoral. They're trying to make it immoral. I know what this is. It's prophesied in Scripture too. They're trying to make it immoral for us to evangelize.
What?
And so if there's somebody over here, okay, that I'm talking to, and he wants to hear what I got to say, but an atheist over here hears us talking, okay,
it's a dick pic.
they feel that I've committed a crime, even though I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to someone that wanted to hear it, but to them, I'm committing a crime.
How does this have anything to do with atheist experience?
Let me tell you something. You know, they
makes
said
no sense.
A lot of things today in all these videos I watch where they constantly get it wrong. They say, well, your Bible tells you to contend for your faith. Contend for my faith to who? Right here. Evidence. Right here. Beloved, while I was very diligent to write to you concerning our common salvation, I found it necessary to write to you exhorting you to contend earnestly for the faith which was once for all delivered to the saints. For certain men have crept where? In unnoticed. What's he talking about? Into the church.
He's so intense.
Who long ago were marked out for this condemnation. Ungodly men who turn the grace of God into lewdness and deny the only Lord God and our Lord Jesus Christ. So, who are we contending with? We've been doing it for years, long before atheists went militant. We've been contending for the faith, atheists. That's why a lot of Muslims convert to Christianity. That's why a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, even right now as I'm speaking, are converting to Christianity. Mormons converting to Christianity. And to top it all
And
off,
deconverting.
atheists. Okay?
Yeah.
Converting to Christianity.
It happens.
Why? Because they walked into the church.
No.
And tried to bring a false doctrine in among the brethren. And there's where we contend. When you walk on our turf and try to cause havoc on our turf, then we contend for the faith. Calling the atheist experience is not contending for the faith. That's either a Christian being stupid or that's a Christian trying to share the love of Jesus with Matt Dillahunty, okay, and his mocking friends. Okay? Ain't got nothing to do, okay, with contending for the faith. Neither does it have anything to do with trying to build an argument. Okay? And it sure ain't got nothing
love
to
how
do
you're speaking
with
for all those
pushing
other
our
Christians.
beliefs on anybody. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't understand how anybody becomes an atheist in my position. Now, I can understand people that are like this guy on Oprah Winfrey show tonight. You know, he said, well, I was struggling. My struggle wasn't with God. My struggle was with my sin.
His sin.
My struggle was because I was becoming bitter and angry about everything.
Really?
Same thing when I got divorced. Bitter and angry about things. And I blamed God.
You should blame
But
yourself.
deep down inside, I knew it wasn't his fault.
It was your fault. I could almost guarantee it was your fault.
But I did slip, and I came back. It's not a matter of becoming...
That's actually very interesting. That's actually very... So there's little stuff that I use to kind of figure out how people think. And again, that's the armchair psychology. Here it comes, folks. Yeah, I've heard me mention before that I pick up on things after watching folks for a while. And I hope people pick up on things watching me because I think it's funny. When most people watch me, they just start making up shit. But when you listen to his stories about his interactions with other people in his life, they're almost always negative. And I know you've heard me say this before. Now he's directly referencing his divorce, which he has before, which is not anything new, but we haven't actually had a video that I've reviewed that he's actually directly referenced it. But what's interesting here, what caught my ear, is that he blamed God for his divorce. Now, when most people, the vast majority of people, are going through a breakup from their significant other, they start to blame factors, right? They start to blame their financial situation, but, rarely will they go, you know what did I do? Most often, I would say the vast majority of people that I know will blame the other person. You know what? This other person is, I just can't deal with them. So that's what caused it. Their inability to see reason, their inability, they're just so obstinate. They're just so recalcitrant in what the things that they do and they say that everything just went to shit. That's quite often you'll hear that. But he went to blame God, which is very interesting to me because I've not really heard that. So one of the things he didn't do is say that, you know what, I blame God, I blame myself, I blame our situation. No, went straight to blame God. And that was it. Now, maybe he's just neglecting to mention those other things. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Or he is unaware of his own behavior and how it led to the downfall in his marriage. Because there was things that he would say, and there was actually one scenario where he mentioned there was something sexy that he heard, the most sexiest thing in the world, that he hadn't even heard from his wife, referencing the wife he got divorced from. And it was a woman at his job that, was going to submit to him in his interpretation of the Bible. Which, okay, we've seen this theme with him. He expects people to simply roll over, people to simply acquiesce to whatever it is that he's saying. There's a dominance, there's a power struggle with D-Roy. D-Roy needs to have the upper hand. D-Roy has an urge, a desire, an attraction towards being the dominant party in any relationship that he's in, whether it's a platonic one or a romantic one. And something tells me, I have a strong inkling that the woman he was with wasn't going to be under his heel. And so God could not bring her to heel. That's my speculation. D-Roy couldn't bring her to heel. She was tired of being treated like less than she should have, because you've heard the way that he speaks about women. You've heard the way that he speaks about how he envisions a wife should be, and how his wife did not fit that description, and how they got together with sin, fornication, if you will. So it's interesting to hear him now reference the divorce. It's interesting to hear him reference what he blamed, because it at the same time takes the focus off of himself and his failures. And I think that it's definitely small man's complex. I think it's very interesting, because when you sit down and think about it, the first person you should look at is yourself. You should introspect instantly. How could I have made this situation better? Where did I go wrong? From my perspective, and I absolutely be wrong, I don't think D-Roy does that. I don't think D-Roy actually takes the time to try and assess his behavior, to assess his actions, to assess the things that he says. He is regretful after the fact. He has actually expressed remorse for how he handles situations. But I don't think that he internalizes the missteps that he made, because he continues to make them. This is an old video, though. But comparing the way that this is framed, comparing the way that he's talking about other groups of people, it's the same thing even to the recent ones. A complete lack of introspection on D-Roy's part. A complete lack of self-awareness that his misunderstandings of what this demographic is or what these people are doing plays a large role into the fact that he can't really have good conversations with people, that he really can't impact people's lives the way that a life application officer should. He has not realized yet that this is a failure on his part. And he won't accept it. He can't accept it. He just can't. He won't. Because there's a separation, folks, you see. There's a separation. He believes that he is doing everything within his power and that he is on the right track because he is among this demographic of people who he is identified as Christian. And so because he is among us, because he is separated, because everyone else outside of that realm is part of the other, he doesn't need to. Unless there's someone in that demographic of Christian who feels as though they know D-Roy enough to say, you know what, maybe you fucked up. Maybe there's somewhere that you've gone wrong, D-Roy. And that's a really interesting in-group, out-group dynamic. And it happens to other people. It's not just D-Roy. It's not just D-Roy. But D-Roy can transcend that barrier. He can. He can be a life application officer to you. He can help you improve your life, even if you're not part of his group. It's simple. It's real simple, folks. Roll over. Just kowtow to whatever it is that he says. And you're going to get your life together. You're going to have what he has. You're going to be on board with it. You're going to be just as ignorant as him. Hell, you might even be just as short as him. Why in the world would anybody in their right mind believe anything this guy says? At any point in time. Why would I lower my standards for myself to do anything that he prescribes? Because you have to really wonder if he thinks that he is impacting people. It's the same thing I've asked G-Man. Whose life have you changed? Who have you converted? I'm curious. I'm pretty sure that you get emails from people that already agree with you. Yeah, that's a good job. Yeah. I enjoyed that. I was kind of on the fence. I kind of already agree with you. But now you've made this argument and I've never heard it before. Man, it's so good. You've already got, the people are already in that position. You're already halfway there. So you push them a little bit over. Okay. But who have you really caused to have a 180? Like, I'm genuinely curious, but I think I know the answer to that.
Becoming a whole new. It's not a matter of totally quitting and enlisting in the devil's army.
Devil's army.
You fall away and you fall back. You get back up on your feet and do it again. But these atheists, they fell and never got up. They fell and waited for the devil to help them up. I didn't need the devil to help me up. I waited on the saints of the living God to help me up. And they did. That's the difference. That is honestly, swear to God, that's the real difference right there. Because I got angry with God just like everybody else. I walked away from the faith like everybody else. Becoming an atheist was the last thing on my mind. Why don't I just reject God? Why do I need to be an atheist? Why don't I just give up? In which I did for a little while. It didn't make me say, oh, well, I'm going to go on this rampage. God doesn't exist, and I'm going to keep all these people from believing in God too. I didn't feel that way. This was between me and God. I was mad at God. So why am I dragging all these other people into it?
So it sounds like you were a mesotheist. You weren't you say you walked away from the faith. Okay, that's fair. But no, I don't think you were an atheist. I don't think you were an anti-theist, because that's sort of kind of what you're describing. But then you go on to describe yourself more, and it sounds like mesotheism. So I think you may want to clarify that a bit, D-Roy. There is a difference.
I don't know what it is with these atheists that they feel that they gotta take it out on everybody that believes because they had a bad experience coming up in the church. I don't get that.
You don't get that. So you get the fact that Christians want to save people's souls, or whatever the hell that means, and they want to rescue people and save people. But you don't get that there are people on the opposite end of the spectrum that say, no, you're deluding people, and that people should not believe these things. That doesn't make sense to you? I mean, it seems pretty simple to me. Again, I'm not one of those people, but I get their position. I get their point. But it's not it's not rocket surgery. It's not rocket surgery, man.
Because I had a bad experience coming up in the church. But it didn't turn me into an atheist. Especially a militant atheist where I feel like I need to go around and look for people to pick fights with.
People to pick fights with?
God. Praise the Lord.
Praise him. He found the page. It's a miracle.
If this closes off, I didn't mean to go this far. It's supposed to be shorter. But if it closes off, I'll do a part 2 of the same video.
Yeah, watching that left eye just drift off is just creepy. Now
the Spirit expressly says that in the latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits.
Where we heard this one before.
To deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. You can mock all you want to, but that is what the reality is. It ain't science. It ain't science taking its rightful place. This is what it is right here. The Spirit expressly says that in the latter times, some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their own conscience seared with a hot iron. In other words, these people have no problem. Like I'm so frustrated about all the different times a day, I've heard these atheists just say nasty things about God. And it's like, okay, at one end you're saying that God don't exist. But because he exists for me, you try to make me feel a certain way by saying nasty things about him. Knowing that you're jealous that my faith is so serious, it's like God is my mother. It's like you're talking about my mother.
Uh-oh.
Or you're talking about my race.
Oh, God, here we go.
And you don't care. You're so angry and you're so full of criminality that you just...
Criminality?
Say anything to get it in my thick skull, or anybody that has faith, to get it into our thick skulls that we cannot believe.
Criminality.
It's belief.
Yes.
It's not about us trying to find a rock or something and prove some fossil evidence. We believe.
Yes, and you can disbelieve.
So do you.
Oh, really?
You believe too.
Really?
Evolution is not proven, it's believed.
So you know what? We're not going to go into like definitions of knowledge or knowledge being subsets of belief, but it's just there's a who's giving me money? Stop it! I told y'all, stop doing that. Buck Melanoma says those teeth look like a fence and all. Okay, I think I'm all right. Fuck you, Buck Melanoma. All right, let me read this. Those teeth look like a fence at a haunted house. I'm just gonna play it. That's it. Okay, that's it. I think I've had enough.
And science proves things that we do every day that have nothing to do with God. But when it comes to God, God is above science. That's the one thing science cannot grasp. It's not going to happen.
Supernatural.
Forbidding to marry, feminism. MGTOW, and commanding to abstain from foods which God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and know the truth. Veganism.
Veganism.
Religions. Hating on Christians. That's all this is. Everybody is religious. Atheism may be the #1 growing religion right now, and with the most religious people in it. And when you mix that with veganism, and you mix that with the religion of evolution, okay? Oh my God. Be quiet, Christians. Shh. Let these people figure out how they're going to fix it all. And then when they fix this world, when they think that if they just get everybody to be a critical thinker, if they just get everybody to be an atheist, if they just get everybody to go back to school and study higher sciences and re-study evolution all over again and study a higher version of evolution.
That really hurt him.
They just get everybody to do all this stuff that proves 100 million things it takes to disprove 66 books. Like, that shouldn't tell you something right there, okay? When they get done proving to everybody that 100 million things against one makes us a better society, a better world.
Let me talk a little bit about that since we're getting here at the end. I need time to gather my thoughts and my breath. I think that's a bit of naive atheism. I've heard stuff like that. When I say stuff like that, let me specify. I've heard atheists talk about, well, if we simply educate folks and everyone becomes a critical thinker, our society will be better. No, that's not true. There's still people that are going to have different ideologies. There's still people that are going to think, well, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't focus so much on environmental issues. We should focus more on industry because, the industry will lead to better R&D. Better R&D leads to better society. There's actually, there's a whole South Park episode about atheists and like a division of atheists in the future. No, there's always going to be that. It's always going to be separations of people based on what they think. Everyone being a critical thinker would definitely help society, right? It would definitely help society. That's not a controversial point, but it doesn't preclude people from having cognitive bias. It doesn't preclude people from having different positions, which may just be as valid as somebody else's position, right? It's just, that's just a fact of the matter. You can have two opposing positions, and they both have merit. And there's a way to go about addressing it. Who's giving me more money? $5 from Super Horror Energy. Penny candies. Yes, he's buying penny candies to gamble with. Don't gamble them all the way at once. I think so. The criticism here, D-Roy, I actually agree with. I think that's just naive atheists saying stupid things. It's not stupid. It's just they they're they have this impression of what being an atheist is. They have an impression of what being a skeptic is, and it's something I was actually thinking about the other day. Is that people have this idyllic image about what a skeptic is or what an atheist is. And I think they take some of these take these words for granted. There are atheists who don't believe in God, but they're not skeptic. Some of them aren't even critical thinkers, and y'all have heard me talk about them. And it has really little to do with people I don't like, because that includes people I do like. I mean, it's just the way it is. You can have some serious cognitive biases in other topics outside of religion and not be a skeptic. It's perfectly capable. People do it all the time. So anyway, that's my mini rant on, hey, how about stop and kind of look at yourself, so-called atheists and suckler people.
And brings us into a utopia. Then
Shit.
us Christians can look at them and say, dear God, please let us burn in hell because we failed. We lost, Lord. They're right. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We shall have the last laugh yet. The reality of the snake is this. The snake went into the Garden of Eden and told Eve. He wanted Eve to think that he was an atheist. He asked Eve, did God really say? And Eve got religious with him. That's the problem. God said don't even touch it. That ain't what God said. Eve got religious, which is what built atheism. Eve got religious. God didn't say don't touch it. He said don't eat it. Okay? She said, well, we ain't supposed to even touch it. That ain't what God said.
How do you...
And the serpent tried to say, did God really say? Then he started doing what atheists do. Well, God knows. How do you know what God knows? Are you in the mind of God? Well, God knows. Oh, I thought he didn't exist. But this is what the serpent said. God knows that the day that you eat of, you shall surely live forever. You shall not die, but you shall be wise like him, knowing good and evil, and live forever. He lied. He never seen a human die before. So how does he know? These are the first humans on earth. How does he know? What, God is going to sit here and have a conversation with the devil? And explain to the devil what he's doing? God don't owe him that any more than Christians owe atheists an explanation. The Bible's not your book, it's our book. It doesn't apply to you. So quit tripping. Then to top it all off, my friend, having problems with his marriage and going to counseling, tells me last night that, oh, she's over her family's house. I'll be out till 1 o'clock in the morning. That's why he can't come to work and do any overtime. What's a Christian doing out at 1 o'clock in the morning? Are you going to a Christian coffee house? Are they open till 1 o'clock in the morning? Where are you going without your wife? Where you're going to be out till 1 o'clock in the morning?
If she's at her family house, then he's going to find
Does
her something
science
fun.
teach you that that is immoral? Or does the people of the book show you that that's immoral? I'm DeRoy Cruz, your Life Applications Officer. More of this to come. Thank you for watching. Thank my phone for allowing me to do a longer video. I will talk to you soon in Jesus' name. See you soon, Lord willing.
Oh my God. Okay, folks.
How you doing?
Wow. Okay, so that was DeRoy Cruz, your Life Application Officer, and I hope everyone is dumber for having listened to that. You're welcome, by the way. I'm going to go now, and I'm going to try and regain whatever brain cells I lost. I'm going to work on that. I promise. There's a few announcements. Yep. So David Silverman on the Magic Sandwich Show this Friday. I'm gonna put out the watch link later today when I get the thumbnail. Actually, I'll probably just make the hangout first and then just upload thumbnail later. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be Hogtie is actually going to be the moderator for that, and then Nate and Silverman are going to discuss what's been going on there. It's going to be a bit different, folks, than if you've heard anything else about Silverman stuff. It's going to take a different tone. They're actually going to look at the lawsuit, unlike some folks. So, more to come. I need to upload also on the 22nd. 22nd on Raw and Rev News. They're going to discuss Trump, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's going to be awesome. So, on the 29th, still deciding, talking to some folks. You may get a chance to hop in and talk to some folks if you have a dissenting opinion on theism in general. You know, it might just be a potluck kind of thing. I don't know. So we'll see. Anyway, folks, thank y'all for watching, and hope y'all. That's weird. Oh, the penny candies. Mom just made biscuits and gravy, so I need to go get some. See